Here's Shay Norland.
All right, let's get started with shot or no shot. There's kind of a bizarre storyline coming out from the Sunday night game, Bears and Texans. Big Chris Collinsworth on the broadcast questioning the body language of one DJ Moore. And since then, yesterday, I saw on social media, Bears Twitter people everywhere grabbing screenshots of Keenan Allen trying to be a leader, coach up Caleb Williams on the sideline. Well, DJ Moore looks like he's pouting or maybe uninvolved in those conversations, just staring off into space. Shot or no shot, the DJ Moore body language conversation is totally overblown.
Once again, the Texans bring pressure. Williams, lofting, back shoulder from Moore, incomplete. Bring up fourth down, bring on the field goal unit.
And I know what DJ Moore is thinking. He goes, look, man, I squeezed that corner to the middle of the field. I left you 5 yards on the boundary out there. There was a lot of room for that back shoulder, just not enough time on task yet between those two. That was an opportunity.
Damn. It's way overblown. DJ Moore and Caleb are super tight. They have a great relationship. This is more play design, blocking scheme, the O-line underachieving. Let's get back to work, man. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's overblown. It's blown. I don't know if it's overblown. And here's why. DJ Moore is no different than a lot of high-level wide receivers that feel like they should always get the ball and really pay dividends for the team. There's frustration there, of course. Not necessarily from the Tennessee game, but in that scenario, he's thinking, man, I had an opportunity to really help the team there, and I didn't get the football. So does that mean a rift? No, between DJ Moore and Caleb Williams. But just like anybody else that plays with a ruthless aggression, Cap, you want to be able to make plays. You want to be able to help. In that scenario, Caleb couldn't get him the ball, so of course he's pissed off about it. Of course, because that's what a warrior does. It's not just DJ Moore. It's a lot of guys at his position do the same thing. Like, man, I'm here, man. Just give me the ball. Let me help you. Let me help you help the football team. That's all. Doesn't mean that that's angry or rift. It's just like, missed opportunity.
Correct. It's not like they're having these major issues. But I can tell you that the players want more from Shane Waldron. They do.
Shay?
All right, Teven Jenkins was asked about the breakdowns in protection this season so far on the offensive line. He answered in a kind of vague and concerning way. Listen to this.
To my knowledge, I mean, we get the call, we get our call up front, and we execute to what we're getting coached to do. I mean, a lot of things happen, but like pressures and stuff, so we can only control so much.
There's Teven Jenkins. We execute on what we're being coached to do. Shot or no shot, Teven Jenkins is blaming Shane Waldron.
That's a shot. In a certain way, that's a shot. And by the way, as we just went through the exercise last half hour, Cap, I'm not mentioning Shane Waldron or my offensive line coach. It's on me. It's on me to be able to help the young quarterback. That's all. Even if you know that Shane Waldron, the offensive line coach, are not putting us in the best positions to win, if that's how you feel, it would never come to the press. I wouldn't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, we talked about it in the last half hour, how he should have answered that, and he didn't. So you could take it however you want. I think they're feeling it from all sides. And so that was, hey, man, we're running up calls. They're telling us to execute. He should have handled it in a more mature way. That's what I'll say.
If you're like this in 6 weeks and you're still, 5 blocks of silly putty and can't seem to help the quarterback get the ball out as quickly as possible, if you're not opening up holes for the running game, that's on you. You say it's on coaching, but to me, Cap, it's everything. It's everything. It's about the execution. It's also about the coaching staff. From Eberflus's standpoint yesterday, what did he talk to? He said about the execution. He's talking about the players.
Yep.
Okay. It's a push and pull on all of it. When you lose, when you underachieve, it's all of it. It's not the coaches, those players, we laid out a plan and they didn't execute. Okay, well, now this is where adjustments come in also of saying, okay, if this didn't work, let's do this. But whatever it is, we got to get the positive results of all of it.
They're going to have to get this fixed and quickly. Now, they may get a break. DeForest Buckner is not expected to be able to play on Sunday with an ankle issue.
Mm-hmm.
They may be without the kid Latu from UCLA. I mean, if they don't have those two defensive linemen, that is a massive advantage for the Chicago Bears. That is like the football gods once again going. As what did Waddle say? It's like a rich kid getting gifts on Christmas. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Here you go. We're going to take two of their best defensive players out on the D-line.
Shay Norling.
Well, actually, I want to ask about that because as bad as things feel, Bears offense looking inept, we should keep in mind they played against two elite defensive fronts to start the season and are getting the benefit of a little lucky timing the next two games with the Colts likely down to Forrest Buckner and potentially down Laiatu Latu, as Cap just told you, this Sunday. The following game against the Rams, they will not have Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp. Both players expected to miss significant time. Both players IR candidates per Sean McVay. Also, that entire offensive line is in flux. So the Bears are getting the Colts and the Rams potentially at the best possible time to get them all year. Shot or no shot, the Bears will be 3-1 in 2 weeks.
That's a shot. That's a shot. They are getting two teams that are banged up. And that's a desperate Colts team. They're 0-2. We know the percentages of teams at 0-2 are slim that make the playoffs.
Yes.
0-3, it's unheard of how slim it is. And the Rams are going to come in here. They had to sign 3 offensive linemen last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like we think our O-line's in trouble. They just lost 41-10 to the Cardinals. They're getting destroyed.
But Cap, what are we going to do about it? Their storyline is what their storyline is, but what are we going to do about it?
Correct.
Like defensively, I think that you and I are on the same page for sure. The defense will get turnovers. They'll get pressures. Hopefully they'll get home and get sacks.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the flip side? See, yes, we talked a lot about the offensive line because that is a big storyline. Seems like every year with the Bears. But then what is Caleb Williams going to do about it? Between the flashy plays, what else is he going to do about it? Well, is he going to overshoot receivers moving forward? Because that's expected. It's what we talked about in June. A rookie quarterback is not going to be perfect. A rookie quarterback is going to make his share of mistakes and turnovers.
You're correct.
That sucked that he threw interceptions on Sunday
Mm-hmm.
because I know that's not. He said that's not him. It is you in the National Football League because the timing, if the clock in your head goes off very quickly in the NFL versus college. So it is a given. Colts have problems on the offensive line. They're 0-2. They're desperate to have a victory at home.
Yeah, their D-line is the one that should be an advantage for Chicago.
Okay. But I guess, again, the question still stands, like, with the Colts and the Rams we just laid out, Shay, what are the Bears going to do about it offensively? My hope is that starting on Sunday, that everything clicks offensively, even with the offensive line problems, that they can be able to score and not have so many problems scoring the freaking football.
If Buckner and Latu don't go on Sunday and you can't run the ball, we've got big problems. The Colts, even with Buckner and Latu, can't defend the run. So if they're not on the field and you can't run on them, next Monday is not going to be fun. That said, if you do run the ball and you win the game, then you get the Rams. And I'm going to say something, Hoodie. If the Rams don't have Kupp and Nacua, and they won't, both guys going to miss significant time per the head coach, Sean McVay. If their offensive line is in flux and they're struggling to run the football, and you've got giveaway-prone Matthew Stafford as the quarterback with no help, Bears could pitch a shutout in that game.
They could, but then what are the Bears going to do on the other side?
Well, 0-0 is a tie.
But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? The old Dominic McNabb sitting there like, I don't know how to feel after a tie. But that's the big question. Yeah, so the Colts and the Rams have their issues. Well, so do the Bears offensively.
Correct.
So what are you going to do about it? You can win those games are winnable. You win those games, 6-3? 9-3? Like,
you better figure your offensive issues out.
So, Shay, I think it's a shot, by the way, to answer your question. I think it's a shot that they go 3-1. I just need to know what the offense is going to do. I know the defense will do their job. What's the offense going to do? But I'll ride with you that those are winnable games because I think that's what I had to start the season. When we did our win-loss predictions, Cap, I think I had the next 2 games as wins in this 9-8 season. I think the Bears are going to have.
I hope you're right.
Shay.
Well, if they are 3-1, guess who they get the following week? The Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young yesterday benched. Just 2 games into his second season, the Panthers have elected to go with quarterback Andy Dalton after Bryce put out his 2 worst performances of his young career, despite having a top 5 graded offensive line. Week 2, Bryce Young was the least pressured quarterback in all of football, and he was terrible. His career might be over. Just 2 games into his second season.
You hearing this, right, Cap?
I am.
Shot or no shot? Have I said anything wrong, Cap?
Go ahead. Finish.
Shot or no shot?
Insane thoughts.
If Caleb Williams is even serviceable as a quarterback, this is the most lopsided trade in NFL history.
No shot, because the Herschel Walker trade led to 2 Super Bowl championships.
That's correct.
We can, and again, let me be clear. I love that Ryan Poles is our GM. I think if you add up all his moves, he's done so much good to get the culture fixed up there, the roster, all of it. But he isn't perfect either. No GM is. And until we win, I mean we meaning Bears Nation, until they win and win big, can't call this the best trade in NFL history. Are you out of your mind? The Herschel Walker trade, they won 2 Super Bowls, was the foundation of a bunch of Hall of Famers. You can tell me all you want what we got from Carolina. We haven't done anything with it yet. Nothing. It's all on paper. Gotta execute.
Paul says everything except the offensive line and the winning. Otherwise, it's fine. I mean, it's just a fact.
If 2 years from now we're still going, I don't know about this Caleb Williams guy, we got to figure this thing out, then is it really that great a trade? Darnell Wright has to hit. He's got to be a Pro Bowl right tackle. He went 10th.
So, Shay, just as we get ready for Around the NFL, just lay it out again for those listening. The first overall pick, Bryce Young, goes to the Panthers, and the Bears get DJ Moore, 9th overall pick in 2023, traded to the Eagles and the Bears, and you got Darnell Wright out of that. 2023 second-round pick traded to become Tyreek Stevenson. 2024 first-round pick became Caleb Williams, and again, the 2025 second-round pick.
And the pick that you traded, number 9, you got Darnell Wright at 10. You also got a 4th-round pick that turned into Torrey Taylor, I believe.
I believe that's the end result of getting Torrey Taylor, yeah.
You got a ton back. But, Shay, if you don't win, then the trade is overrated. You got to win.
Even with Bryce Young's struggles, and I'm never going to give up on young talent. I'm just saying, like, once again, you started Bryce Young. You didn't have to do that. You could have tanked again and started. Was Andy Dalton with the team last year as a backup?
Yes.
Also? Okay, so that's what you would have went with. And you would have been okay, but I would have got a high draft pick out of it because I know with Andy Dalton, you're going to win 4 or 5 games, maybe, max.
And here's the other thing. Who was, see if you remember this. Shay, don't answer this. Hoodie, my partner, who was the quarterback in Carolina 2 years ago to finish the season? And they let him go. It was probably the middle of the season.
Sorry.
Well, you were not supposed to answer
I know
that.
you said don't answer, but sorry.
He gave the answer.
I had to. It was my guy. It jumped out of my throat. I couldn't stop it.
Baker Mayfield was there,
yeah.
and they let him go.
Yeah.
And he ended up finishing the season with the Rams. And all of a sudden, Tampa signed him, and people laughed. Go back and read the articles. What a joke. Tampa has Baker Mayfield. Oh, they beat the Eagles in the playoffs? They re-signed him for a bunch of money, and he looks really good, and he just won at Detroit? Yeah.
So do you remember the story last year? I think we talked about her last offseason. David Tepper walked into the restaurant, took the host's hat off, was accosting him because there was a sell the team sign.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yesterday, there was a sign at that same restaurant. It said Mayfield 2-0, Darnold 2-0, Bryce 0-2.
Man.
Go.
Around the NFL is coming up next. It's going to be a banger. Don't forget Albert Breer as well coming up in our next half hour. Kap and J Hood on ESPN 1000 and also on our YouTube channel.